Hello, welcome back to Blessings of the Ordinary. I tried making my grandma's caramel rolls for the first time a few weeks ago. It was more sentimental than I expected. COVID has kept me away from my grandparents longer than ever before. And honestly, it's been tough on everyone. Family has always been the most important thing in my life. I grew up having sleepovers with my cousins at my grandparents' house. Okay, that's a lie. I grew up wanting to have sleepovers, but actually having my mom come and get me at bedtime. But my attachment issue is not the point being made. My cousins were some of my very best friends, and those relationships have definitely changed over the years, but as adults, we still love to meet at our grandparents' house. And now we get to bring our kids too. I love seeing my grandparents with my kids, and I am so thankful that both sets of my grandparents make time for us. Not only make time, but make it a priority. You want to know the best part though? That pure, unconditional love that they show to their families is mirrored through generations. I see that same love from my parents and hope that my kids are feeling it from me. Our family is definitely not perfect, but I'm proud of the relationships that we have with each other and the foundation that's been laid. I am proud to be part of this legacy. I have an entire circle of people setting good examples of family connection. I remember my aunt praying with me one night as I lay crying on her floor during another failed sleepover. She had to drive me to my mom more than once, but she continued to do it because she realized how important those cousin experiences were. Another vivid memory I had with extended family was playing video games in another aunt and uncle's camper. I lost terribly to my younger cousin, and I still can't drive Mario Kart. But we didn't have gaming consoles or a boat, so getting invited to the river with them was always a thrill. They didn't need to invite us, but I'm sure glad they did. My kids are getting to make those types of memories now. My parents, siblings, and my in-laws are all eager to help in the making of generational memories. We love getting together, even if it gets incredibly loud and sometimes dreadfully whiny. But that time is important, and I want my kids to understand that tradition from a young age. So yes, I am passing on these traditions. But I also want to keep in mind how grateful I am for the values that I've learned from the generations before me. I grew up going to church because my parents had similar childhoods. Taking kids to church was something that I assumed just always happened. It's what I saw, it's what I knew, it's what I did. I value family worship and prayer because that's how I was raised. Another beautiful testimony of love I have seen throughout the generations is pure dedication to marriage. Both sets of my grandparents have been married for 64 years. And I cannot imagine that all of those years were easy. They stuck with each other through health problems, raising children, and major transitions. It really is amazing to see both of those couples loving each other so deeply for so long. My parents' marriage is also one that I look up to. I have learned in my short 6 years of marriage that it takes a lot of work. But I also know that I want to make it to each milestone with my husband that I've watched my family make. Another lesson I've learned from my parents and grandparents is the importance of good, hard, honest work. My parents both came from farming families, and my dad began as a milk farmer too. I grew up having everything I needed, but we were not extravagant. Our lifestyle spilled over to all of my siblings. None of us chose lucrative careers. We didn't need to. We chose purposeful, rewarding, nurturing careers. Our kids will also go without the nicest, newest toys and electronics. But we will model for them that materials are not important in living a joyful life. We will show them that money does not buy gratitude, generosity, faith, sportsmanship, and joy. Those are all things that I learned from my family. It's my turn to pass it on to the next generation. And hopefully, as a perk, I can also teach my kids how to make my grandma's caramel rolls. Better yet, my grandma can teach them how to make her caramel rolls. I came from a truly amazing family. We are fortunate that it continues to grow, which brings a lot more noise, but also a lot more love. We're also very fortunate that we get so many wonderful years with our grandparents. It's not very often that a 27-year-old can say all 4 of her grandparents are still living, and I do not take that for granted. We are the most fortunate, though, that we all love each other so much. There's nothing better than that. Thank you for listening and being one of my blessings. Have a great day, and don't forget to hug your grandparents when you get the chance.